Welcome to Lilogue. Let's improve your English through stories.
My adventure in Singapore. My name is Lisa. I am 24 years old. I come from Canada. This is my first time traveling alone. I am very excited but also a little scared. Today I am going to Singapore. I have been planning this trip for 6 months. I saved money from my job at a bookstore. All my friends think I am very brave. Some of them said, "Are you sure you want to go alone?" But I want to prove to myself that I can do it. I pack my bag carefully the night before. I put my passport, money, and phone charger in my carry-on bag. I also bring a small notebook to write about my trip. My mother makes me promise to call her every day. Singapore is safe, I tell her, but I will call you. I don't sleep much that night because I am too excited. The long flight. My flight leaves Toronto at 11 p.m. It is a very long flight, almost 20 hours with one stop in Tokyo. I have never been on such a long flight before. The airplane is huge. There are movies, games, and music on the small screen in front of my seat, but I am too nervous to watch anything. The flight attendant is very kind. She brings me water and asks if I need anything. During the flight, I practice some basic phrases in my notebook. Hello, how are you? Where is the bathroom? How much does this cost? I want to be ready to speak English with local people. I try to sleep on the plane, but it is difficult. The seats are not very comfortable, and there is a baby crying somewhere behind me. I look out the window and see clouds and ocean below. I think about all the places I want to visit in Singapore. I have read many articles online about the best tourist attractions. Arriving at Changi Airport. I arrive at Singapore's Changi Airport in the morning. The airport is incredible. It is like a shopping mall and a garden at the same time. There are beautiful waterfalls inside the building. I take many photos with my phone. Other passengers are also taking pictures. Some people look tired from the long flight, but everyone seems excited to be in Singapore. The immigration line is long, but it moves quickly. The officer looks at my passport and asks, "What is the purpose of your visit?" I answer, "I am a tourist. I want to see Singapore." He smiles and stamps my passport. "Welcome to Singapore. Enjoy your stay." I feel so proud that I answered his question perfectly in English. After immigration, I go to get my luggage. The baggage area is very organized. There are signs in English and Chinese everywhere. I wait for about 10 minutes, then I see my red suitcase on the conveyor belt. I am relieved that my bag arrived safely. Getting to the city. I need to get to my hotel in the city center. There are many transportation options: taxi, bus, and train. I decide to take the train because it is cheaper and I want to see the city from the window. I buy a ticket from a machine. The machine has instructions in many languages, including English. The train is very clean and quiet. It is nothing like the subway in Toronto. There are advertisements in English and Chinese on the walls. I practice reading them quietly. Some passengers are sleeping, others are looking at their phones. A few tourists like me are taking pictures. During the 30-minute ride to the city, I see many interesting things through the window. There are apartment buildings that look like they have gardens growing on the sides. Later, I learn these are called green buildings. There are also construction sites where workers are building new skyscrapers. Singapore is growing very fast. Checking into my hotel. My hotel is in Clarke Quay, near the Singapore River. It is a small boutique hotel with friendly staff. The receptionist is a young woman about my age. She speaks excellent English with a slight accent that I find charming. "Welcome to Singapore, Miss Lisa," she says, looking at my reservation. "Is this your first visit?" "Yes, it is," I reply. "I am very excited to explore your beautiful city." She smiles and gives me my room key, along with a detailed map of Singapore. She also gives me a small guidebook with information about local attractions, restaurants, and cultural tips. "If you need anything, please call the front desk," she tells me. "We have staff who speak English, Chinese, and Malay. Also, there is free Wi-Fi throughout the hotel." I thank her and take the elevator to my room on the 7th floor. My hotel room. My room is small but very comfortable. There is a double bed with white sheets, a wooden desk by the window, and a small bathroom with a shower. The best part is the view from my window. I can see the Singapore River and some traditional shop houses across the street. I unpack my clothes and hang them in the closet. Then I take a long, hot shower. The water pressure is excellent, and there are small bottles of shampoo and soap that smell like coconut. After my shower, I feel refreshed and ready to start exploring. I put on comfortable walking shoes, shorts, and a t-shirt. The weather outside looks hot and humid. I take my small backpack with water, my phone, camera, and the map the receptionist gave me. Before leaving, I practice some phrases out loud. "Excuse me, where is? Can you help me? Thank you very much." My first walk around Clark Quay. I leave the hotel and immediately feel the warm, humid air. It is like walking into a sauna, but I don't mind. The area around my hotel is very colorful and lively. Clark Quay is famous for its restaurants and nightlife, but during the day it has a different, quieter charm. I walk along the Singapore River. There are old shop houses painted in bright colors, pink, yellow, green, and blue. Many have been converted into restaurants, cafes, and shops. I see some tourists taking photos, and some local people hurrying to work with briefcases and laptops. There are small boats on the river that look like they give tours to tourists. A boat captain sees me looking and waves, "River cruise, miss? Very nice, very cheap," he calls out in English. I smile and wave back, but I want to explore on foot first. Maybe I will take a boat tour later. Discovering a local coffee shop. As I walk, I start to feel thirsty. I find a small traditional coffee shop called a kopitiam. There are plastic chairs and marble-top tables. The owner is an elderly Chinese man who speaks some English. "You want coffee?" he asks. "Very good local coffee." I order a coffee and sit down. The coffee comes in a small cup and tastes very different from Canadian coffee. It is stronger and sweeter. While I drink, I observe the local customers. Some are reading Chinese newspapers. Others are eating breakfast and talking loudly in different languages. An old woman at the next table notices me and starts a conversation. "You are a tourist?" she asks in broken English. "Yes, from Canada," I reply. She nods and smiles. Canada very cold, Singapore very hot. We both laugh. She tells me her name is Mrs. Lim, and she has lived in Singapore for 70 years. Singapore very different now, she says. More modern, more international. Visiting the Merlion Park. After coffee, I decide to walk to Merlion Park. The Merlion is Singapore's famous symbol, a statue that is half lion and half fish. According to my guidebook, it represents Singapore's origins as a fishing village and its original name Singapura, which means Lion City. The walk takes about 20 minutes. I cross several busy streets and walk through the business district. I see people in suits hurrying to meetings, street food vendors preparing for lunch, and construction workers building new skyscrapers. Singapore is a city that never stops moving. When I arrive at Merlion Park, I am amazed by the view. The Merlion statue is smaller than I expected, but it sits right by the water with the famous Marina Bay Sands Hotel in the background. The hotel has 3 towers with what looks like a ship on top. It is one of the most recognizable buildings in the world. I take many photos of the Merlion. The statue spits water into Marina Bay, and there are always tourists trying to take creative pictures. I see people pretending to drink the water or catch it in their hands. A kind Japanese tourist offers to take a photo of me with the Merlion. "Say cheese," he says, and we both laugh. Marina Bay Sands and the shops. From Merlion Park, I can see Marina Bay Sands clearly. I decide to walk there and explore. The walk takes about 15 minutes along the waterfront. There are many other tourists walking the same path, taking photos and enjoying the view. Marina Bay Sands is not just a hotel. It is a huge complex with shopping, restaurants, a casino, and even an art museum. I go inside the shopping center called The Shops. It is incredibly luxurious, with marble floors, high ceilings, and expensive stores like Chanel, Louis Vuitton, and Rolex. I cannot afford to buy anything here, but I enjoy walking around and window shopping. There is even a canal running through the middle of the mall with gondola boats like in Venice, Italy. Everything is so fancy and beautiful. I feel like I am in a movie. For lunch, I find a food court in the basement level. It is much more affordable than the fancy restaurants upstairs. I order chicken satay, grilled chicken on sticks with peanut sauce. The vendor is a middle-aged Malay man who speaks good English. "First time trying satay?" he asks. When I nod, he gives me extra peanut sauce. "You will love it," he says with confidence. He is right. The satay is delicious. Gardens by the Bay. Afternoon adventure. After lunch, I walk to Gardens by the Bay. This place is truly magical. The super trees are massive metal structures covered with plants. They look like something from a fairy tale or science fiction movie. Each tree is about 50 meters tall and covered with orchids, ferns, and tropical plants. I pay a small fee to walk on the OCBC Skyway, which is a bridge that connects some of the super trees. Walking between the trees 22 meters above the ground is exciting and a little scary. I can see the whole garden from up here, plus the Singapore skyline. The view is breathtaking. Next, I visit the Cloud Forest Dome. Inside this giant glass building, there is a 35-meter-tall indoor waterfall and a mountain covered with plants from cool tropical climates. The temperature inside is much cooler than outside, which feels wonderful. I spend almost an hour walking up the mountain path, reading about different plants and ecosystems. The flower dome is equally impressive. It houses plants from Mediterranean and cool, dry climates around the world. There are baobab trees from Africa, olive trees from the Mediterranean, and colorful flowers from Australia. Every few months, they change the flower displays for different festivals and seasons. Meeting other travelers. While exploring the gardens, I meet Sarah and James, a young couple from England. They are also traveling in Southeast Asia and have been in Singapore for 3 days. "This is our favorite place so far," Sarah tells me. "We come here every evening to watch the light show." "Light show?" I ask. James explains that every night at 7:45 p.m. and 8:45 p.m. the super trees light up with music and colors. "It's free and absolutely beautiful," he says. "You should definitely stay for it." We decide to explore the gardens together until the show starts. It is nice to have company, and my English conversation practice is getting better. Sarah and James tell me about other places they have visited in Singapore, the Singapore Zoo, Sentosa Island, and Little India. Tomorrow we're going to the Hawker Center at Maxwell Road, James says. Want to come with us? I am happy to make plans with new friends. We exchange phone numbers and agree to meet at my hotel at 11 a.m. tomorrow. Sarah gives me some tips about traveling in Southeast Asia. Always carry tissue paper, she says, and don't be afraid to try street food. It's usually safer than restaurant food and much more delicious. The light show spectacular. At 7:45 p.m., the first light show begins. The super trees transform into a symphony of lights and music. Blue, purple, pink, and green lights dance up and down the trees in time with classical and modern music. The 15-minute show tells the story of Singapore's transformation from a small fishing village to a modern global city. Hundreds of people gather on the grass to watch the show. Families with children, couples holding hands, and groups of friends all lie down on the grass and look up at the magical display. Some people bring picnic blankets and snacks. The atmosphere is peaceful and joyful. I lie on the grass next to Sarah and James, looking up at the light show. I feel so happy and proud of myself. This morning, I was nervous about exploring alone, but now I have seen incredible places and made new friends. My English is improving with every conversation. After the first show, we walk around the gardens some more. There are food trucks selling ice cream and drinks. I buy a coconut ice cream that tastes fresh and tropical. We find a bench by the water and talk about our travel experiences while waiting for the 8:45 p.m. show. Dinner at a hawker center. After the second light show, we are all hungry. Sarah suggests going to a hawker center for dinner. It's the best way to experience real Singaporean food, she explains. We take the subway to Chinatown and find the Maxwell Road Hawker Center. The Hawker Center is busy and loud, with dozens of food stalls serving different types of cuisine. There are Chinese, Malay, Indian, and fusion food options. The smells are incredible. Curry, barbecue, fresh herbs, and spices, all mixed together. We walk around for 15 minutes trying to decide what to order. Finally, I choose Hainanese chicken rice from a stall run by a friendly Chinese family. The grandmother at the stall speaks limited English, but her grandson helps translate. My grandmother makes the best chicken rice in Singapore, he says proudly. The dish comes with perfectly cooked rice, tender chicken, and 3 different sauces. Sarah orders laksa, which is a spicy noodle soup with coconut milk. James gets char kway teow, which is fried flat noodles with eggs, Chinese sausage, and bean sprouts. We find a table and share our food with each other. Everything is delicious and very affordable. Our entire meal costs less than 20 Singapore dollars. Exploring Chinatown at night. After dinner, we walk through Chinatown. At night, the area has a completely different atmosphere than during the day. Red lanterns light up the streets, giving everything a warm, romantic glow. Street vendors sell souvenirs, and there are many bars and restaurants with outdoor seating. We visit the Buddha Tooth Relic Temple, which is open until late evening. Inside, the temple is peaceful and beautiful, with golden decorations and the smell of incense. Many local people come here to pray after work. We remove our shoes and walk around quietly, respecting the sacred space. Outside the temple, there is a small night market where vendors sell traditional Chinese medicines, jade jewelry, and handmade crafts. An elderly man tries to sell us herbal tea that he claims will make us live longer and healthier. We politely decline, but he is very friendly and tells us about his family's herbal medicine business. Late night conversations. We find a rooftop bar with a view of the Singapore skyline. The drinks are expensive, so we just order one each and make them last. The view is worth it. We can see the Marina Bay Sands, the Singapore Flyer, a giant observation wheel, and hundreds of lights from buildings across the city. We talk about our dreams and plans for the future. Sarah wants to become a teacher when she returns to England. James hopes to start his own business someday. I tell them about my job at the bookstore and my dream to travel to many countries and improve my English. Your English is already very good, Sarah tells me. I can understand everything you say, and you express yourself clearly. This makes me feel proud and confident. When I started this trip this morning, I was worried that people wouldn't understand my English. Now, I realize that communication is about more than perfect grammar. It's about being friendly, open, and willing to try. Returning to the hotel. At around 11 p.m., we decide to head back to our hotels. Sarah and James are staying in a hostel in Little India, so we take the subway together part way, then separate at different stations. We confirm our plans to meet tomorrow at 11 a.m. for more food adventures. The subway at night is quieter than during the day. There are fewer people, mostly young adults, heading home from dinner or drinks, and some night shift workers going to their jobs. I practice reading the Chinese characters on the subway map, trying to match them with the English station names. Back in my hotel room, I feel exhausted but incredibly happy. I take off my shoes and sit by the window, looking out at the city lights. Clarke Quay is still lively below, with people walking along the river and music coming from the restaurants. I can hear multiple languages: English, Chinese, Malay, and others I can't identify. Calling home. Before going to bed, I call my parents in Canada. Because of the time difference, it is early morning there. My mother answers the phone sleepily. Lisa, how is Singapore? Are you safe? I spend 20 minutes telling them about my day, the airport, gardens by the bay, the Hawker Center, and my new English friends. I'm having such an amazing time, I tell them. The people here are so friendly, and my English is getting better every day. My father takes the phone and says, "We're so proud of you for being brave and traveling alone. You sound very happy and confident." My mother adds, "Just remember to be careful and trust your instincts." After the phone call, I feel grateful for my supportive family and excited about tomorrow's adventures. I write in my travel journal for about 15 minutes, recording all the details I want to remember: the taste of chicken rice, the colors of the light show, and the kindness of strangers who help me throughout the day. Preparing for tomorrow. I lay out clothes for tomorrow and charge my phone and camera. I study the map and plan my route to Little India, where I will meet Sarah and James. I also make a list of phrases I want to practice. What do you recommend? Is this spicy? Where's the nearest subway station? Before sleep, I reflect on how much I have learned about myself today. This morning, I was nervous about speaking English with strangers. Tonight, I had dinner with new friends and conversations with vendors, hotel staff, and other tourists. I realized that most people are patient and helpful when you make an effort to communicate. I also learned that traveling alone doesn't mean being lonely. When you are open and friendly, you meet interesting people everywhere. Sarah and James, Mrs. Lim at the coffee shop, the grandmother at the chicken rice stall. Each person taught me something new about Singapore and about myself. Sweet dreams. As I fall asleep, I listen to the sounds of Singapore outside my window, cars driving over the bridge, people talking and laughing, and music from the riverside restaurants. These sounds that seemed foreign this morning now feel comforting and familiar. I dream about tomorrow's adventures in Little India, and the day after that, and all the new places I will discover. I dream about the foods I will try, the people I will meet, and the conversations I will have in English. This is only my first day in Singapore, but I already feel like I am becoming a more confident and independent person. Singapore has welcomed me with open arms, delicious food, and kind people. I cannot wait to see what tomorrow will bring. Good night, Singapore, and thank you for an unforgettable first day. Day 2 Preview. I wake up early, excited for another day of adventure. Today, I will explore Little India with Sarah and James, try Indian Singaporean food, visit colorful temples, and shop for spices and textiles. I have heard that Little India is completely different from Chinatown, more chaotic, more colorful, and full of amazing smells and sounds. But that is a story for another day. For now, I am happy to drift off to sleep, dreaming of light shows, chicken rice, and the kindness of strangers who helped a nervous Canadian girl feel at home in their beautiful city.